And let's see, do I still have a big ol'... Yeah. All the Zachtronic games use an assembly-like syntax. It's merely an order of single instruction lines. If you're looking for something more high-level, Joy programming use the actual Python 3.10 implementation. Looked a bit interesting, though it ran kind of poorly for you. Yeah, I have, that might be the issue because I have no experience with assembly. I have experience with... No! Not ad starting soon! Let me let me snooze it, you jerks. Ah. Okay, well, apparently an ad is going to be starting soon and it's not letting me stop it. So, apologies for that. I wanted to, give my thoughts about these games here. We'll see if it actually runs or not. But we have completed the E's. So let me pull up my YouTube playlist just to make sure I don't miss any of them. As a reminder, all of my streams can be found on YouTube in case you miss any of them. Alrighty. Okay. So, the first game. Oh, I'll also close the PDF because why have the PDF open? No reason to have that PDF open. Okay, so the ad is running right now. It says it has... You'll wait for the ad, so thank you. It says it has about a minute left. I think this experiment is going like pretty decently so far. I am definitely thinking twice before playing a different game. You're back? Okay, great. So I will start with Unplayed number 65, which was Eastshade. It was an interesting game. I liked the aspect of creativity where you kind of, can choose what you want to take a picture of, but you have limited ability to, like, you only have so much canvas, so you kind of have to pick and choose. You do find the concept of trying an arbitrary collection of games in alphabetical order is a bit interesting. There's some guy on YouTube who's trying to review every game on Steam like that. They are still in games starting with symbols, LMAO. Yeah, for me, the arbitrary collection is just games that I've acquired over time, mostly through Humble Bundles. And the idea is to try to address my Humble Bundle problem of buying a bunch of games and then never playing them. Because either I will play them, or I will realize my actual tastes and then stop buying them, hopefully. You wish that guy luck with that endeavor. Yeah, I think that is something that will never be finished because they'll always be making more games. But mine, even though I have more than 200 games, I'm making progress. We're in the E's now. Eastshade, I would say, was a good game, but just not for me. I think I remember getting a little bit motion sick during it. El Hijo, my first ever stealth game. I enjoyed it. I got a little bit frustrated at parts. Sometimes stealth games have the same issue as puzzle platformers do, where sometimes you see the solution, but you have to still execute it, and I don't always have the best coordination for that. But yeah, I think El Hijo was really cute. It was a good introduction to the genre, I think. I don't know if I'll go back and play it, but I think it was good. The Elder Scrolls Online, I just have I know Super Base is gonna be sad, but I just have difficulty with games that are so big, wide open, and just like, what am I even doing here? I like games that have some direction that aren't just so open. Um, I think the reason why I don't like big open games like that is because it feels too much like real life, and games are supposed to be an escape from real life. Like, there's having restrictions can enable you to like be more creative or have more fun, I think. I like having more rules and direction as to what I'm supposed to do. So, seems like a good MMO RPG if that's your thing. Um, After that, I played the free visual novel Enamored Risks. This one, I would recommend because it's free, and I actually finished it off stream. It was good. It was cute. It was short. I finished it. It was all right. If you like visual novels, I'd recommend it. Like, it had a lot better grammar than most free visual novels. It still had a few mistakes, but nothing too big. And the characters were cute. It was rated PG. Yeah, just cute little story. And Suzuka says, now that we're moving on to F, does that mean I'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV? I don't think I have Final Fantasy XIV in my library. I do not. And given that I don't really like MMOs, I don't think I will be playing it. Even if it has, I think Final Fantasy XIV maybe has a free introduction or something. So, Devil's Cry says that would be interesting to watch. Me stumbling around having no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, that's most of the series anyway. The next game we played was Endless Space. Terrible. Do not recommend. It had a tutorial which was just dumping all of the mechanics on your head in huge text blocks and saying, you have the information, figure it out. Instead of kind of easing you into it and being like, here's what you do first, here's what you do next, da 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 da. And yeah, it was just bad. I would not recommend it. Endless Space was too much. Even as a new player, Final Fantasy XIV is rather cozy, but that's understandable. Okay. After Endless Space, we actually jumped back a bit because I bought a Humble Bundle. That bundle might actually still be active. It's the Devious Deckbuilders. It might be active for a few more days. We played Astrea 6-Sided Oracles. Right up my alley. I love a little roguelike deck builder. Even though this one was interesting because every single card was modal. It's a 6-sided die, so essentially you were drawing from a dice deck. Very interesting. Enjoyed playing it. I have played it since off stream. Really, really like it. Book of Hours. Garbage. Cultist Simulator garbage. They got me again. I thought that it was a new and different game. Nope, it's the same game, except they don't kill you as fast, but it is still the stupid, trying to figure out where the cards go, unfun gameplay. I don't like games where trying to figure out how to play the game is the game. Just give me the rules. Give me the rules, and then let me strategize from there. Don't make me try to figure out the mechanics. I don't like it. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to give it a try. Book of Hours was more forgiving than Cultist Simulator, and it had, like, graphics, which Cultist Simulator did not have. But it was still Cultist Simulator. It's just a little bit of they called it gentler. It doesn't immediately kill you when you have no idea what you're doing. I would not recommend it. Episode 72, we played Dungeon Drafters, which was the third game in that Devious Deckbuilders Humble Bundle. Um, it was a tile-based RPG-ish type thing. The decks had to do with your classes, like there were like classes or colors or whatever. So the character that you picked would have certain abilities. I picked the mage, so I was red and blue. Red seemed to be, straightforward, like damage type things. Blue seemed to be like tricky things, like switching positions, or like freezing stuff. Um, it was interesting, and I think there's a lot more there. I played it for 3 hours, which, you know, as you know, on these streams, I don't tend to play things for the full time. I'll often like give it a shot and then be like, okay, I think I have an idea of the game, and then go on to something else. I did play it for the full time. I haven't played it since. I'm not sure how I feel about it in the long term, but there's definitely a deep game there. You could choose a different hero if you wanted to like start over, and that would probably be a totally different experience. So yeah, I think Dungeon Drafters was pretty good. And overall, I would recommend the Devious Deck Builders because even though Book of Hours was terrible, Estrella was great and Dungeon Drafters was good. And Estrella is like $25 in the Steam store, and the whole bundle is $20. So even if you only like Estrella, it's still a deal. The game that we played after that, back into the E's, was Epistory. That was a typing game. It was interesting. I had difficulty figuring out how to kind of move the character around the map because it was like kind of a diagonal axis. But I eventually kind of got the hang of that, and you used typing words to attack your enemies and to also like open up new areas. I feel like it would not be a good game for somebody who doesn't already know how to type. I think that the person who doesn't already know how to type would probably be dying a lot. Whereas I'm not even sure if I got hit, because I can touch type. So I don't know. I mean, maybe getting hit and stuff would be fine. It seemed like it would maybe be a good game for younger kids. Like it didn't seem like there was very much plot there. I played for about an hour, but I think it was good. It's just maybe not for me. Like maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the fact that I am so good at typing made it less high stakes than it should have been, or something. But yeah, so that was Epistory. You have Epistory on Switch, Devil's Cry? Nice. I think you were saying that you were hoping to maybe see the preview of it, but yeah, you can just play it yourself, so that works. After that, I played Escape Simulator. And once again, I ignored the fact that the game was in first-person 3D, and I got sick. I have a really hard time with first-person view. I get motion sick. And so while I think the game was fun, I think it's great that people you can make your own levels and like upload them so that other people can play them. Like it seems like it's great and like well designed. I just couldn't play it for, and I really wanted to. Like I was in that first room, I completed the tutorial and then I was doing the first room and I was really trying, and I couldn't solve it because I was going to throw up. So, yeah, Escape Simulator seems really good. Not for me. I had to give up after half an hour. After Escape Simulator, we had the games that we played today. Evan's Remains, which was a puzzle platformer. I actually really enjoyed doing the puzzle part of it. The lore, I'm not sure if I'm sold on. It does have a little bit of an interesting mystery going on. I was having a little bit of a why should I care about these characters, because they're kind of like being mean to each other. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested maybe to see what happens next. And it does have the option to skip a puzzle if you get stuck. So if I really wanted to finish the game but couldn't get through puzzles, it seems like you could figure out what the story is. So there's that. I don't like that it forces you to be full screen. You know how I feel about that. I prefer having it be windowed. But other than that, yeah, I think it was it was good. I'd recommend it to folks who like puzzle platformers. Um, and then finally we had Exapunks, and that was the game we just played. I think as a programming game in terms of lore, very, very interesting. I was struggling with the commands themselves and the syntax, because apparently it's like assembly based, and I'm more accustomed to things that are either kind of C like or Python like. I have no frame of reference for assembly. So that might have been why I was struggling so much with the syntax. And maybe somebody else who didn't have that problem would like the game better. Or maybe somebody who doesn't have the pre-existing kind of framework of trying to put things in those programming languages. Maybe they would have an easier time, because it's possible that my own biases regarding like what I can do with programming and stuff like that was getting in the way. But yeah, seems very. I think this was probably the most well-designed programming game that I've seen. Like the graphics seemed interesting, the story seemed interesting. I the little PDF printout was interesting, trying to give you an immersive experience. But yeah, I wasn't sure how I felt about the puzzles themselves. And maybe I just needed more practice. But yeah, that was the ease. So next time I guess we're gonna move on to the Fs. I have not too many F games, a couple. We'll obviously be skipping over Fairy Tale Fables because I have played 30 hours of that. But we'll continue on to the next game in the library, which looks like it's Figment, which it's an action adventure game. Looks very cute. But for today, that is going to be it. So I'm going to look and see if there's somebody who we can raid. I'll be back tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. Let's see here. Wolfman is playing some Donkey Kong 64, so I think we'll go ahead and give him a raid. He likes doing randomizers, which is fun. DK64. So we're going to raid. Yeah, I hope that you have a good one. Let's see. Wolfman. Yeah. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, and please be sure to stay safe and have a good one.